Hey everybody, how's it going? Anthony Alfredo here with another post-race Q&A. I guess this one actually regards two races because we raced Saturday and Sunday at Homestead-Mami Speedway. Both were 250-mile races. We finished 4th on Saturday and we finished 11th on Sunday. So, very successful weekend. I'll take it. Another solid run both days. Obviously, Saturday was my career best finish so far. First top 5 finish in the NASCAR Xfinity Series, which my debut was my previous best finish. I finished 6th at Auto Club Speedway, just outside of the top 5. So it was nice to break inside of the top 5 and get a 4th place finish. We had a green-white checkered restart that we got to take full advantage of. There was a long green flag run at the end where we actually fought really hard to get the lucky dog, and fortunately we did. So when we got that, we pitted, took fresh tires, and we restarted 7th, last car on the lead lap. It was a pretty crazy race, long green flag run. A lot of cars went laps down, and we had a really fast iRacing Chevy Camaro. So I was happy about that. Our number 21 crew did an awesome job all weekend, and like I said, the first race went really well. We put ourselves in position at the end, and I think if there was maybe 4 or 5 to go, we would have had a shot at the win because we were on new tires and the other guys had stayed out. But obviously, there was only 2 laps because of the green-white checkered restart. But got to race against Dale Jr., which was pretty cool because he was my hero growing up. So that was definitely a highlight of my career. I actually went 3 wide on the top around him and Michael Annette for 4th place. And was trying to get to 3rd, but the checkered flag flew and we ran out of time. So almost had a top 3. But really great day. That was Saturday's race. We definitely improved all day long on the setup on the car, and that was my first race at Homestead and first time running the wall. You know, any of you've watched a race at Homestead-Mami Speedway as tires where the fast line is running as close to the outside wall as you can, all the way around, even in the corners. And it's a little bit difficult to figure out, but it clicked pretty quickly for me, and I really enjoyed it. It was a lot of fun. One of my favorite things to do in a race car now. I really enjoyed it, and our car handled better up there, so I didn't really have a choice. Even if I didn't like it, I had to do it and try to make it work because, like I said, the balance was so much better up there and the car drove better, and it ultimately just made so much more speed for us and most other guys too, most of the fast cars. So kind of had to do it anyways, but fortunately I enjoyed it and got even better at that for Sunday's race, where unfortunately I feel like, I don't know if the track was so much different or we didn't maybe get the car adjusted quite where we wanted to. Homestead's very difficult because it's really easy for the corners to get disconnected, or the corner itself. You know, you make an adjustment to help the center of the corner and you end up hurting the entry of the exit or something like that. So that was something we fought, but up by the wall we were super fast. I'd run top 3 lap times later in a run. We had great long run speed, but we lacked short run speed, firing off on a restart. It took a few laps to get up to speed. So we'd lose a little track position there and stuff like that. I felt like we're going to have another shot to finish between maybe 5th and 7th or something like that. Maybe just probably top 5, honestly. Because we came back to finish 11th after an unscheduled pit stop at the end. The race was trending just like the Saturday race. Long green flag run at the end. We made our scheduled pit stop under green flag conditions, got back out there, running inside the top 10, then blew right rear tire. So we had to pit again, and we actually had to put 40 lap tires on because we were out of sticker tires, brand new tires, I should say. So rallied back to 11th, which was really solid. Great recovery by the team. The guys did an awesome job, and I'm just thankful to be surrounded by a bunch of people who want to succeed as bad as I do. It makes it so much more fun on race weekend. It's so rewarding when we do well. We're in it together. We're all getting better. I have a lot of fine-tuning I'm still doing and a lot of learning in general just about the series, the guys I'm racing against, how to attack these races, how to attack all these new tracks that I'm going to. And, of course, just the cars, because I'm new in the NASCAR Xfinity series, and the Xfinity cars are so much different than anything else I've driven. But I think they suit my driving style well, and I really enjoy them. So it's been a blast, and like I said, I'm fortunate to be in the position I'm in. I've worked hard to get here, and hopefully we could be competing full-time for a championship next year, because as we run more consistently, just like we have been at Atlanta, and then, of course, the 2 Homestead races this weekend, it's pretty clear how we've... what's the word I'm looking for? I just lost my train of thought looking at the chat. It's pretty clear how we've, progressed or gained momentum, I guess you could say. So I'm looking forward to carrying that throughout these coming weeks, especially at Talladega next weekend. It's going to be a lot of fun. I love going Superspeedway racing. I only done it once in a truck last year, actually at Talladega. And RCR is a phenomenal Superspeedway program. They're very competitive everywhere. So I just have great people around me. We have all the tools to succeed, great equipment, and great people is even more important than that. So we're all communicating well, getting better each week, and if we continue to do that and just keep up that consistency, we'll be up front in no time, just like we were on Saturday. And like I said, I think Sunday would have been another successful run for us if we didn't have the issues we had, but that's just part of racing and stuff you can't really plan for, just cutting a tire down and stuff like that. But it's always fun to rally back and have something to build on nonetheless. So we'll keep getting better, and I'm excited to answer any of your questions now at the post-race Q&A about either of those races, and then we'll end it with some questions for next weekend's race at Talladega Superspeedway. But I hope a lot of you enjoyed watching the races. It was definitely a blast. Homestead's probably one of my new favorite tracks, so I really enjoyed that, and there's probably a lot of questions you guys might have about that track and running by the wall, and any of you who listened on the scanner on the NASCAR app. But we'll get started here with some of these questions. I see Adrian in the chat, Nicely's, Jenny Lynn, BC35, Josh. Yes, definitely better than our first time at Homestead, Josh. So that's why I said it was my first race, because last year I didn't get to race the Truck Series race. I actually practiced, probably made 15, 20 laps. Qualifying got rained out, and when they gave the command to fire engines, the motor blew up, and I didn't even get to race. So that was very unfortunate, but this weekend was definitely more successful than that, Josh. AKJ, L, Zeds, Luxtro, Zabel, I see you all. Okay. Is chat not working? Something's not working on here. I don't know why the chat's not popping up on the screen like it normally does. That's kind of weird. Well, anyways, I'm sorry about that, but nonetheless, let's start answering some questions here. So anything you guys got for me from this past weekend, I'd love to answer your questions. And like I said, once we kind of seem to have wrapped up those questions. Oh, there we go. It's up. Is it working now? Or has it been there the whole time and I just didn't notice? I see the text on the webcam now. Yeah, it's working. Yeah, there we go. It's working. Awesome. So once we get through some of these questions, we'll go ahead and roll into some pre-race questions for Talladega. iRacing Livery was on, or is it livery or livery? I've heard people say both. Livery sounds weird to me, but I don't know if that's the right way to say it. Well, anyways, this paint scheme was on point. Best looking car on track, in your opinion. My opinion as well. Best looking car. The iRacing Chevy Camaro is so fresh. So that was our second and third time running it, because we raced it Saturday, Sunday, and we had run at Darlington earlier in the year. So I'm very thankful for iRacing support. It's a pleasure to represent a brand that I believe in so well and am such a big advocate for. Obviously on here on Twitch, I live stream iRacing all the time in my SimSeats driving simulator, and it's how I prepare for races, more so than ever, because we don't have any practice or qualifying now with the current COVID-19 situation and our track time being limited and on track or at track personnel being restricted as well. So a lot of things are different, and iRacing's been super helpful for me to prepare for these races as I've stepped up into the NASCAR Xfinity series, driving for Richard Childress Racing. And I think one of the biggest things is getting a visual for these new tracks I'm going to. Greetings from Chile. Awesome. I love seeing people on the stream and people on my social media from other countries. That's so just amazing to me. I appreciate the support. All right. So what do you guys think? And who all watched the race this weekend? And what are some questions you have for me based on the race? Oh, you know what I need to do? I need to, how do I pull up the chat? There's a way to pull up, like, the Periscope chat, too. Because right now I can only see the Twitch chat. Okay. So, livery. So it is livery. No, it's livery? Livery. Yeah, livery. Okay. Love supporting the iRacing boys like you and Ty. Awesome. I appreciate that. It's been fun, man. It's been really fun. We've had some successful runs, and this weekend was awesome to run well in both the races, back-to-back days. That was really cool. I've never done that before either in my career. I've ran twin races when I was racing late models, like in the same night, but never two big races back-to-back like that. It was definitely a challenge. Orbit, how are you doing? Will you be posting your vital stats like you have previously? Thank you so much for saying that, because I have it drafted on my Instagram right now. So I'll post it when we finish up here, because I have the side-by-side comparison of both the races, because it's actually really interesting to see how my vitals were different the following day. Take a sip of my Coke Zero here. Joey, how are you? I'm doing well, thank you. Great to see you in the stream. We're doing our post-race Q&A right now for, let's see, how much, oh, I can't go much closer with the mic. Doing our post-race Q&A for the 2 Homestead races this past weekend, and of course our pre-race for next weekend in Talladega. What other questions we got so far? Green flag or caution pit stops preferred? So green flag pit stops it's always a challenge coming to pit road on old tires after running a bunch of laps, because you have so little grip and you're entering a corner at Homestead, over 180 miles per hour. You're trying to get it slowed down and you're slipping and sliding coming to pit road. So it's fun, it's challenging, and then you got to get all you can without speeding on pit road, and then get off pit road as fast as possible, and just try to have a successful lap, I guess you could call it, from the time you get onto pit road and back out on track. But caution pit stops make it a whole lot easier, because you can kind of see who in front of you is pitting, and kind of pick your strategy as you go. Hopefully gain spots on pit road under green flag conditions. If you have a great pit stop and you do a good job on pit road, entering down pit road and exiting pit road, you can also gain spots. So I don't really know if they're both so different, but I mean, usually you don't want a caution if you're running well. If you're not running too well, you want a caution, group the field back together, come down pit road, and get new tires, put 4 tires and fuel in it. So it kind of depends, I guess. It depends. But this weekend was my first ever green flag pit stop in a NASCAR Xfinity Series car. Did it twice. And I only made about 3 green flag pit stops in a truck last year. So I've hardly done any. So it's still new to me. But it went well this weekend. It went well. I was very thankful. All the guys back at the shop have been doing a great job. All the men and women at RCR. Of course, the road crew, my guys come to the track, the pit crew, and my spotter. Everyone's been doing a great job, and we've been getting better week in and week out. So that's always rewarding, and it makes us excited to head to this racetrack each week. How many Homestead stripes did I get? Saturday I got a couple. Sunday I got a lot. Because one time I caught it with the right rear quarter panel and it pushed it in, so I lost a lot of side force, and it made the car a lot more edgy, and just slipped, like I was just kind of slipping and sliding a lot more. So I ended up sliding up into the wall a couple more times than I obviously had intended or hoped to. Obviously you don't hope to at all, but when you're running that close to it, you're bound to at least touch it at some point. I never really had the opportunity to follow anyone nicely. I will say the 9 had like a 12-second lead or something unreal, and we pitted much. I can't remember if we pitted earlier or later, honestly, on Saturday. And he had come around and lapped a couple of us that were still running inside the top 10. And I kind of saw what he was doing, picked up a little bit of speed. They were just, it was like they were in a league of their own, man. Him and, I'd say the 9, the 7 was fast, but they had some troubles. And there was 1 or 2 other cars that were really fast. But we were one of them that were really fast against the wall. Just lacked that little bit to be quite as fast as those guys. I think it was definitely something to build on, and a very, very successful weekend nonetheless, though. Can't be disappointed with it at all. Your birthday was Friday. Fourth place on Saturday was an awesome present. Well, I'm glad. That's awesome, and happy birthday to you. What other questions? Are you sufficiently hydrated? I am now. I was super dehydrated after both races, but I did my best. I usually hydrate, all week, but ideally, like mostly 3 or 4 days before a race. So it was really hard to race again the next day because I had to, take minimum 2 or 3 days of hydration and try to pack it into one night, because by the time the Saturday race ended and we went to the Sunday race, you're talking, maybe 17, 18 hours between the two events. And with sleep, you just say you have 10 hours, 9 or 10 hours to hydrate as much as possible. And I sweat so much, a lot more than the other guys, which makes it really hard for me because I have to drink so much fluid and just have so many electrolytes. So it was definitely not easy to try to, pack in the same amount of fluids I got in me leading into Saturday's race in way less time. Even just the day of the race. Saturday we raced at 3:30, so if I get up at 8 o'clock or something or whatever on race day, I have all the way till 3 to hydrate. Well, or 3:30 to hydrate. Well, Saturday, you only have a few hours because we raced at noon. So, and then the race ended the night before, so it was just very challenging. But we made it work, and I felt great. So it was an awesome weekend. I was a little bit nervous about that, staying hydrated and how I'd feel in the car. And, staying hydrated is more than just getting tired, getting a headache, or getting a little bit fatigued. But, your muscles start to give out and everything. And once that happens, then you start giving up mentally. So it wasn't easy, but it went well. And I actually, everything I planned, all the supplements I was taking, everything. And by that, I mean electrolytes. I shouldn't even call it supplements, but I drink a lot of Pedialyte. Pedialyte helps a ton, and the way I kind of scheduled where I was drinking what and what I was eating at certain times worked out. Johnny McDeppin extended their T1 subscription. Thank you, Johnny. I saw we got a new follower in here too, so thank you all for tuning into the stream and following. Have you heard about the All-Star race being at Bristol? I saw that, but I haven't heard anything inside. I just saw someone post on Instagram, and it wasn't like an official NASCAR account or anything, so I'm not too sure. Joe Combat, thank you for following as well. Are going to stream iRacing soon. I should be streaming iRacing later tonight because we have the Monday Night League again, finally back on Monday night, and it's Indy cars at Auto Club Speedway. Winner gets a big green egg, which is a grill, for those of you who don't know, a really nice one. And there's a $50 bounty on Parker Clearman because he's won the last 3 in a row. So see if we can go capture both those things and the checkered flag. Ripping the wall. That's right. That was us at Homestead for sure. What's the race coming up this season you're most excited for? That's a really good question. Honestly, I'm really excited for Talladega this weekend and Daytona. Never raced at Daytona yet, but I cannot wait. How Nuggets gifted a tier 1 sub to Zabel. Thank you so much, How Nuggets. That's so kind of you. 11 gifted subs in the channel now. Look at that. Phenomenal. So, Talladega, Daytona, I'm probably really excited for, and I'm trying to think what else. I mean, there's a lot. I'm pumped for Texas. I've never been to Kentucky, but I'm excited to go there. There's a lot of fun races coming up. Another gifted tier 1 sub to Ryan Thomas. Welcome to the Sauce Mafia, Ryan, and thank you, Hound Nuggets, for gifting that tier 1 sub. Green eggs and ham? No. Just the grill, just the green egg. Tier 1 sub to Kid Racer 19. Out Nuggets, thank you so much again. That's so kind of you to be gifting all these subscriptions. You saw it by Jim Utter tweeted All-Star 2020 at Bristol. Really? Well, that's exciting if that's going on. Oh my gosh, another. We got the hype train rolling. Look at that. Reloaded got a Tier 1 sub from Nicely's. Thank you guys for the support. I really, really appreciate it. I can't wait to be back streaming this week, too. That was something else I wanted to address quickly. I know this is a post-race Q&A, but obviously I didn't stream a lot last week. There was a lot of preparation going into my first trip at Homestead, especially knowing that we were going to be racing twice. So a lot of work had to go into that, and wanted to focus on that. I got to know AJ a little bit now. Him driving the Colic number 16 the past couple weeks and headed to the racetrack together. Nicely, thank you for another Tier 1 sub gift to Matthew. Very kind of you. Swelly, you were supposed to go to Kentucky. Dang, man. I wish you were able to be there. It's crazy times, but we'll see what happens. We'll play it by ear. NASCAR, the officials, and all the tracks and their partners have been doing a phenomenal job getting a schedule out, allowing us to get to the racetrack and go race and put on a show for the fans back at home who can watch on TV and, slowly bring them back to the track. Obviously, there were some veterans and healthcare workers and first responders at the race at Homestead yesterday for the Cup Series, and I think the same thing's happening at Talladega, so that's awesome. Did I miss any earlier questions? How did you feel finishing above Dale Jr. on Saturday? It felt awesome. Obviously, Dale Jr. is a legend. He's a NASCAR Hall of Famer. He's going to be inducted this year, part of this year's class, and he was my hero growing up. So to not only race side by side with him, but to beat him is surreal. And it's really cool, really cool. And I drove for him. There's some pictures back there. I drove for Dale Jr. In 2017 for his late model team and won a few races. Finished second in a championship points. So that was it was really cool to go race against my old boss man and my childhood hero. So really, really cool story. Probably one of my most memorable moments so far in my career. So much fun rooting for you. Been tuning into the comms. Well, thank you, Swally. I'm glad you're tuning into the comms and you're able to listen to the race. Nicely is another Tier 1 sub to BC35. BC35, welcome to Sauce-Mami. Thank you for the support, guys. It means so much to me. I love our Twitch community on here, and I know a lot of people have been coming in from other social medias because I always post when I'm going live, and obviously the Q&A interests a lot of other people too because they want to ask questions about race weekend. Got some nice mentions on the broadcast both days. That's fantastic. I've yet to watch it back. I haven't seen it. It hasn't been uploaded yet, so I'll check it out when I can, and I'm excited to watch back to learn some things and, of course, catch those cool moments. I'd say the hardest thing, Orbit, is getting to pit road speed under green flag conditions because you don't want to overdo it, obviously, in speed on pit road entry, but you also don't want to give up too much coming to pit road and be too slow and leave a lot on the table. So it's definitely not easy to do it perfectly. And the same goes for coming off pit road and getting into your box well and all of it. It's not easy. Joey Fan gifted Tier 1 sub to Swelly. Swelly, let's go. Welcome to the Sauce Mafia. Was Sauceum taken? It was a Sauceum weekend, for sure. Ballpark Franks got a Tier 1 sub gifted to them from Johnny McDeppin as well. Your wife loves Briscoe because of his last name. From Law and Order. Now she yells roots for me because of my last name. She yells pasta. That's awesome. I love it. All right. So what do we got? Any last Homestead questions? Saturday or Sunday's race, or just in general? And if not, what questions you got for next weekend? Racing Saturday at Talladega Superspeedway. It's gonna be awesome. Am I concerned with no practice? I'm actually not as concerned with no practice there as I was at like Darlington, I'd say. A little bit, just because I don't know how the cars handle on a super speedway, but we'll have to see. Anything you can improve on after racing Homestead? Yeah, a few things. I think I know how to run the top now. I figured that out. So the few laps it took me to get acclimated up there on Saturday's race, I could figure it out quicker. I know what I need out of the car to start the race now, whereas, with no practice, I had no idea, especially with never racing there. And it was a day race in the summer, whereas typically it's a night race all the way in November. So as a organization, as a team, we didn't have many notes to go off of, but now from the experience we gained this weekend, we learned a ton just about the way the track changes, the balance of our race car, how that changes, how it handles in different parts of the racetrack, how just to drive the track for my aspect behind the wheel. A lot of different things for sure. If you weren't a NASCAR driver and were a fan, who would be your favorite driver? Oh man, that's a good question. So I always liked, Dale Jr. He retired. Jeff Gordon, he retired. Have a ridiculous amount of respect for Jimmy Johnson and everything he's accomplished, and I'm a big Jimmy Johnson fan, especially this year. I'd love to see him win in his final year. Maybe even grab a championship. He's been running really well. But I love watching Tyler. Honestly, Tyler Reddick's been as competitive as a lot of others, and he's a rookie. He's got a lot of growing to do. So to see him run so well, he finished 4th last night at Homestead in the Cup Series. That's pretty awesome. I think he's got a lot of talent, and obviously, I got to pull for my teammates. Which I know you're saying if I'm not driving, but like Austin Dillon and Tyler Reddick, come on, they're my friends, they're my teammates. I got to pull for them every week. But I guess if I wasn't racing, right, I wouldn't be teammates with them. But now it's just hard to change that mindset because I know them both really well now and I've gotten pretty close to them. So they're friends of mine, so I'd definitely be pulling for them. What scheme am I running at Dega? You will see tomorrow. And top 12 in points. So let me address that quickly. Last week I was talking about why it's so important to be top 12 in points because of the drawing since there's no qualifying. Well, now finally we've started. We were top. We were like 13th or 14th in points. Well, there's every 12 positions in owners points draw for qualifying, and you start 1st through 12th. You can draw 13th through 24th, and so on. So we are going to start somewhere between 13th and 24th every week. Well, we started 14th at Darlington. Well, not terrible. We started 24th at Atlanta, and we started 21st on Saturday at Homestead. And then for Sunday's race, it was an invert of the top 15, and everybody else's finishing position stayed the same for their starting position Sunday. So I finished 4th, so I started 11th. Well, now we're in the top 12 in points, which means the worst we could start at Talladega is 12th. And the best we could start is 1st. We can draw the pole. So hopefully that's what happens. That would be awesome if we can get that. So that'd be a huge advantage to start in the front row at a Superspeedway. 1st or 2nd even, or just somewhere towards the front. But nonetheless, top 12's huge. And a Superspeedway, you can go from 15th to 1st or from 1st to 15th in literally half a lap. Stuff happens so fast that if you get shuffled out or lose a draft or anything like that, so it's not as crucial there. But obviously, you always want us to be up front, and I have a lot of confidence in our race team, especially at a super speedway. So we want to be up front because I know even if we don't necessarily start up there, we'll get up there. And to answer your next question, what I'm about to say is Derek will be spotting for me at Talladega. He spots for me every week, and he's an incredible spotter, great at the super speedways. I've been learning so much from him. He's been super helpful, and it's going to be huge to have someone like him on the spotter stand at Talladega and Daytona, any of the super speedways, but really all tracks. He's just so experienced and really knows what he's looking at, so he can help a young driver like myself a lot. Thank you, Zeds. I appreciate the compliment. Everyone who's been saying all the nice things, so thank you so much. Oh, you saw the entry list with the sponsor, Drew? Okay. I'll give a little sneak peek. Maybe. hydrate. I don't have any water with me. I just have this Coke Zero. I don't know if that counts for hydration, but I'm taking a sip of something. That's all I got in front of me right now. Okay, this is a really good question, Ballpark Franks. How much can you go to other guys on other teams for advice? Are they pretty receptive racer to racer? So a lot of guys aren't. Most drivers kind of keep to themselves, or they're limited with how much information they provide. Usually when you're teammates with somebody, they share a little bit more than most do. So that's, pretty significant. You always rely on your teammates and lean on them for information to get better. So that's been a huge help being teammates with guys like Austin Dillon and Tyler Reddick. They've driven RCR's equipment. They know how all the people there, they know how they operate. That all helps a ton, and just their overall experience is very helpful. But other drivers, I don't know too many others. Everyone's kind of focused on themselves, working with their own teams, and it's just kind of hard to share information, especially because most teams are doing their own things, right? And you kind of all have different setups, so some stuff doesn't even translate that well. But when I was at Junior Motorsports racing a late model, one guy was always super nice to me, was Justin Allgaier, and now obviously I'm competing against him in the NASCAR Xfinity Series, but he's always been a really cool guy, and typically he's always been an open book, which I really appreciate and respect that. Because I'm kind of the same way, one thing he said to me was he said a lot of people have helped me get here, so I want to return the favor and help other people coming up through the ranks or in the industry, and that's exactly how I am. I just try to help many people as I can, and just do whatever I can to utilize my platform to do good for others, because I've been very blessed. Devin, thank you for subscribing to Tier 1. 3 months now. Let's go. Good job, Miami. Thank you. Am I racing this weekend? I am. I'm racing at Talladega Superspeedway on Saturday. It's going to be a good time, hopefully. We know how quickly things can change at Talladega and Daytona, any of the Superspeedways. Really anywhere in racing, you're going so fast. But those places are just, when you're pack racing, restrictor plate racing, it's a whole different world. Definitely want to be in the front nicely. We want to have control of the race, and if our car's as fast as it was at Daytona, then we won't definitely want to be up front, because we shouldn't have a problem controlling the race and leading both lanes and doing whatever we can to stay up front all day. Just going to have a really smooth day all around. Just how it always is in racing. Just got to basically do everything perfectly. There's no room for error. It's really hard, especially at this level, with how competitive it is, to have any sort of mistake or mechanical issue or tire issue, anything like that, and rebound. It's difficult unless it's really early in the race, but the races are a little bit longer, so you can come back from stuff for sure. Speaking of this Saturday, you're working that day, so you'll find a way to catch up within the afternoon. Sounds good, Adrian. 21-7 combo to the front. You're always scared being at the front at Superspeedways on iRacing. You know what? Why is that? Because for me, I feel so much safer. It's really hard, especially on iRacing, to manage both lanes and stay up front. But in the pack, there's just nothing you can do. There's nowhere you can go. So it's just, if something happens, it's like you're in trouble. And that's how I feel in real life. You can't go anywhere. You're just boxed in if you're in the bottom or middle lane, unless you're on the top or something. It's tough. And it's hard to see behind people. You're so tucked up, pushing them, and the bumpers and the spoilers are in the way. It's a challenge for sure. You're scared in general, being. Yep, TJ. It was a pleasure to see you and talk to you, meet you. Sorry we couldn't shake hands or anything like that, or stand within 6 feet of each other, I guess you could say. Just crazy times, but nonetheless awesome to see you at the track. Yeah, first to fourth. I'm same way, Brendan. Yeah, that makes sense. So you're saying you feel safe in like the top four. So like, you know, in the top front two rows, and other than that, you'd rather be in the back. That makes sense. Yeah, being in the middle's worse. At least in the back, that's why people lag back a lot. Or sometimes they have that strategy in real life at the Daytona 500 and stuff. It's a long race, and they just try to be there at the end, and if a huge wreck happens, which they call the big one at the Superspeedways, all the cars are so close together that if they wreck, a bunch of them crash. So the further back you are, you can kind of avoid that. But the problem is you risk losing the draft, and if you're only with, you know, a couple other cars in a pack, and then there's 20 cars in a pack, you know, maybe there's 5 of you and there's 20 up here, the pack of 20 is going to go way faster because the air is so much more broken up and the cars are just going to be going faster in the draft. When you have less cars, you're not going to punch as big of a hole through the air and be able to go as fast. You can't literally see the air nicely, but you can feel the way it affects the handling of the car and other people around you, and it's different track to track. Kind of the same general rules apply at a lot of places, but the super speedways is where it's most prevalent with the high speeds and how close you're grouped together with other cars. So you're going to be watching on your phone in Rock Springs. Hopefully you do have good enough cell service. Got to get that Xfinity X-Fi and you'll be good. You're getting pretty good on the freeway pack drafting. Robinson is back in the stream. Long time no see, my man. That gifted tier 1, 5 tier 1 subs too when he pops in the stream. Look at that. Legend, Robinson. Is that 5 because I got top 5? Thank you. Very proud of you, my man. I appreciate that, Robinson. Thanks for being here all the time. All you who are in every stream, you know who you are, and everybody who's new. I'm not any less grateful for every single one of you, and I'm just thankful to have everyone tuning into the streams and on all my social media platforms. It's been amazing now the support I've had this year. And all my career, but this year in particular, it's just been, it seems like it's been more than ever. It's really cool and really, it goes a long way. I really appreciate it. Thank you, Brendan. You love the paint scheme at Homestead? You guys are going to love the one for Talladega, too. What's tougher to drive, road course or super speedway? Oh, man, that's like, I don't even think you can compare. The road courses, I don't have a lot of road course experience. I would say the road course is a little bit more physically demanding. I'm sure when you're on 500 miles at a super speedway, it's really demanding, but like this year, I'm running the Indy road course, and that's going to be really hot, which is going to make it even more physically demanding. You're just going to lose so many fluids and stuff. The super speedways can be hot. Talladega can be a hot one, but it's more mentally demanding than anything because you have to be so patient, risk versus reward all the time with moves you have to make. If you're going to be defensive, if you're going to play defense or offense, it's just very challenging, and it's just so hard to win at a super speedway, man. Anything can happen, which is why it's so exciting to watch as a fan, and it's crazy to be a part of in the driver's seat. You'd like to gift one for P1. That's awesome, Robinson. I love it. That's a good question, though. It's like comparing apples to oranges, so it's really hard to answer that question. But I think that makes sense. Hopefully, that makes sense. I should say. Welcome everyone to the Sauce Mafia too, who got a tier 1 sub from Robinson. That's awesome. Go out and kick some bum. Oh my gosh, that's hilarious. Go out and kick some butt this weekend, someone said. And I said bum. Same thing though, I guess. Poets. Oh yeah. Highlight of the weekend right there. No, just the top 5 in general was awesome for our team. Your favorite car is the Death Wish car so far? Yeah, the Death Wish coffee car is awesome. Thing was mean looking. Will it be different because it's not only left turns? Will what be different? You talking about the road course? Yeah, I mean, physically, you're having different forces, instead of kind of that lack of symmetry, right? Your body's taking more stress on a certain side, whereas a road course, you're kind of taking it both directions. And depending if there's more right turns and left turns or more left turns and right turns, then that side's going to be used up more than the other. A lot of heavy braking, your left leg's going to be more tired than maybe your throttle leg. A lot of different things. Robinson even extended his own subscription. Look at that. Thank you. I appreciate the support. It's awesome. So we got some new merch ideas coming out. I also have some awesome, a new emote for the Twitch channel I got to create that I came up with. So you guys are going to love that one. It makes a lot of sense for those of you who tune in to all the streams. I do have a league, Brendan. Check it out right here, ! ERL. The Esports Racing League. It's a legitimate company. It's my actual iRacing league, and qualifiers are actually going to open up at the end of this month or early next month, and then the new season starts up in August. We already finished our first season, and a lot of Coca-Cola iRacing Series drivers, a lot of the pros and upcoming pros, and a lot of rising stars on iRacing competed in the league, so it was a lot of fun and put on great racing. They're all broadcasted live on our own Twitch channel. They go to the YouTube channel, and Podium does the broadcast, Podium Esports. So it was really cool. Jimmy Mullis won the inaugural season, and we're excited for the next one. You know what you're doing this weekend now, Nuggets. There is a new scheme, so you're going to have some work cut out for you this weekend. That's a great idea. I think we should do a hosted race sometime this week to get ready for sure. Definitely. So all the ERL races are actually on Monday and Wednesdays, which I think next season we're not going to have the two series, like an A and B class. It'll be just A and B class. I don't mean license. License class doesn't matter. Anyone can compete in it as long as they qualify in. I just meant like we had two different series, Xfinity cars and Cup cars. And one was on Monday, one was on Wednesday. But we'll probably just be Wednesday in the future. So it is fixed setup, Brendan. Yes. You watch any NASCAR YouTubers? Oh yeah, I watch Eric's stuff for sure. Need some RCR 21 gear. We do need some RCR 21 pasta gear. Absolutely. Well, it looks like that's just about all we got. Oh, you can't run Monday, Wednesday. Dang it. Oh, shoot. That's unfortunate. Well, maybe we can figure it out. We still got a month. But I just want to thank you all for the support. It means the world. We had a great race weekend. It's just been super solid. I've now run 5 races in the NASCAR Xfinity Series, all for Richard Childress Racing in the number 21 car. And in those 5 races, I have an average finish of 9th, driving their Chevy Camaro. So it's been just such a blessing to be competing at this level, even though it's not full-time. I'm still very grateful nonetheless for everyone who supports me, all of you watching the races, who supports my social media. Of course, my family and friends. I wish my mom and dad could be at the racetrack with me, and my brother and sister too, because unfortunately, they're not even allowed at the racetrack right now, and no fans are. So my 90-year-old grandpa would have been at Homestead with all my mom's family, so that was a bummer. But nonetheless, we're still having a good time at the racetrack and doing our jobs, getting better each week. Like I said before, it's just a lot of hard work's gone into getting to this point, and I have a lot of hard work to keep putting in to get to where I want to be. So we'll just take it race by race like we have been. I think an average finish of 9th in the first 5 races being a part-time driver is something to be proud of, and that's a testament to the whole race team. Definitely not myself. It wouldn't be possible without everyone at Richard Childress Racing, all the men and women who work there, everyone back in the shop, coming to the racetrack, the pit crew, my spotter, and like I said earlier, really just a huge team effort. We have great people, great equipment, just all the tools to succeed, and we'll keep getting better every week, keep that consistency up, and or keep that consistency each week. And we'll be up front in no time. I mean, we already had a shot at it on Saturday, and we're probably going to have another shot at it on Sunday. Just had that tire go down. So just really proud how this year's been going. Thankful for all the partners and everyone we've had on the race car so far. Anderson's Maple Syrup on my debut. We've had iRacing on the car at Darlington, and the past 2 races at Homestead on Saturday and Sunday. Death Wish Coffee in Atlanta. And a bunch more to be on the race car and to represent this year and grow with that I'm really looking forward to. So stay tuned to that for tomorrow. We'll be announcing our Talladega Superspeedway sponsor and revealing the paint scheme. And other than that, that's where I'm going to end the stream, guys. Thank you so much for the support. I appreciate everyone tuning in tonight and everyone who's been there for along this awesome journey. So I'll see you next stream, which actually should be tonight because we've got the Monday Night Racing League, Indy Cars at Auto Club Speedway. Should be pretty fun. And I'll talk to you all later. Bye.